Hello, welcome to another Amazon seller. That was so low energy. Hello, welcome to another Amazon seller live stream. My name's Simon. Thanks to everyone who's joined me. I should have had a Red Bull before this. I did consider it actually, but I was like, oh, I need to sleep tonight. How is everyone doing? For those of you that don't know, my name is Simon, also known as FBA Mogul, which is the channel you're on now. I'm a seven-figure Amazon seller in the UK, and I do these lives normally every Monday, Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time, where I just answer questions around Amazon, talk about how my Amazon's going, and just help people out if you've got any questions, whether you want to get into Amazon, whether you're struggling to scale, whether you've got a problem with Amazon. You know, sometimes I hop on and help people who have got problems with Amazon. We'll talk about that in a second, actually, how I helped someone yesterday, which is awesome. But yeah, and just generally just hang out and chat, basically. So yeah, welcome to anyone who's come on. Anyone who watches this afterwards, by the way, all of these lives are recorded, so they're available on the lives tab. To watch them, when they're, all the previous ones basically are always available. So yeah, so thanks everyone for jumping on. So we'll have a look at my results for the month so far once I have a drink. But yeah, so how is the month going for me? It's not too bad. I've not actually been sourcing or buying anything this month so far. I've been too busy trying to catch up with all my other work, but my Amazon's still not going too bad, really. So today, things are slowing down a little bit, to be fair, as is to be expected. We're in January for one. Also, my stock levels are slowly dwindling. So this is my today, £148, not too bad. It's okay. It's not where you want to be, where I want to be, but not too bad at all. And let's have a look at my month. My month is not too bad either. Let's have a look. Month to date. And by the way, if you guys have got any questions around Amazon, getting into Amazon, let me know, basically. Doesn't seem to be anyone watching so far. Strange. Anyway, maybe it's just a bad time. Normally I do these on a Monday, so... But yeah, so checking some DMs here quickly. Make sure everyone can actually see the old stream. Oh, here we go. Helen's joined us. Hey, Helen, how's it going? I forgot to get back to you, Helen. Sorry, I will do it at some point. But Helen messaged me about setting up a Seller Toolkit repricer. We can definitely do that, Helen. My apologies. Anyway, glad to know that the stream's actually working. Someone's actually able to come on and actually view the stream. So yeah, I was just talking about my profits so far this month. This is today, which is okay. Nothing too exciting really. It is this month's not going. It's going okay, but it's. Hey James, how's it going? Watson, I should say. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it coming on. So this is today so far. So it's going okay. Nothing too insane. Month to date. Let's get the old month to date up. So I think I'm on track to make about 8,000 this month, which is okay. I do have a little bit of stock going in that needs to go in, which should help maybe bump things up a little bit. But yeah, right now we're on 4,182. So given that we're on the 13th of January, in theory, we might hit 9, maybe, probably 8, 9. Difficult to say, really. So we've still got over half the month to go. So, but yeah, so yeah, not too bad anyway, really. So yeah, but I say I've not done any sourcing so far this month. But yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, feel free to throw them out there. Whether you've just started Amazon, whether you're scaling Amazon, whether you're having a problem with Amazon. So I actually hopped on a call with someone yesterday, I think it was. It might be the day before. And their account had been suspended. And I normally don't hop on calls with people who've got suspended accounts because normally there isn't much I can do. I'm trying to think what the problem was. What was the problem he ran into? It wasn't an authenticity complaint because that can kill. And by the way, I got one of those today, actually, kind of interesting. An authenticity complaint, which actually, I'll talk about that in a second. What was his problem? Oh my God. Anyway, I managed to sort it out for him. It took like 24 hours. They got back to him and his account was reactivated. So I was like, wow, that's good. Don't normally have so much success when it comes to account deactivations, but it wasn't anything too major. But yeah, what was it? I can't remember anyway. But yeah, today I actually got an authenticity complaint on a wall product. So some wall clippers, not wall, as in WAHL. And yeah, someone complained they were fake basically. No, I bought these from Amazon to Amazon. So I was like, okay, here's the Amazon to Amazon invoice. And literally within like 3 hours, Amazon had said, yeah, your listing's reactivated. Not that I had any in stock anyway. I'd sold them already. And that was gone basically. So actually it was pretty good that Amazon got back to me pretty quickly. I mean, it's one of the easiest auth complaints that they can deal with because it's just their invoices. But yeah, so it was kind of interesting anyway. So, but yeah, so so Jordan's got an interesting question. So how would you track COGS or cost of goods for returns when the same product is shipped at different costs across multiple shipments? So the way that I do that, it depends what software you're using. Software like Seller Toolkit will have essentially what you can do is every time you have a shipment, if you're using Seller Toolkit, or what are you using? So if you're using Seller Toolkit, for example, you can basically go to cost of goods, and then there's a replan check in there, and inside that replan check, you can basically change the cost of goods based on the shipment. So if you send let's say for example, you send one shipment in of some stuff that costs £9.99, then you send another shipment maybe a week later, and you buy it for £8.99. You can basically put the cost of goods per shipment. Now the only problem with that is it's all in the back, and this is getting quite technical now. It's all in the back end of Seller Toolkit basically. So it's Seller Toolkit that knows this. So the best way to do it is, the best of what I prefer, is that if I buy something, let's say for $9.99 one week, and I buy it for $8.99 another week, I'll make an entirely separate listing on Amazon for that with a different SKU. So with this different SKU number, because when I make my SKU numbers, you can leave it blank and it will just auto-generate a SKU number, so stock keeping unit, or you can use a custom one, and I tend to just put the price and then the item, and then maybe, so let's say for example I'm buying a perfume, it'd be like $49.99 dash Paco Rabanne dash maybe the whatever Lady Billion or whatever it is, or something, Lady dash EDT dash 100 mil, something like that basically, or 50 mil, whatever it is, or EDT, EDP, so yeah, that's what I tend to do. But at the very beginning I put the price. So if I restock it, then I know that SKU specifically and all the sales associated with that SKU were specifically based on that cost of goods. The only problem with having it just on one listing and letting Seller Toolkit or whatever deal with it on the back end of their database is that if you migrate to another software, it's not going to know about that basically. So, yeah, hopefully that answered the question anyway. Gerard saying, I'm really struggling to ungate on brands. I feel like AI are reviewing my selling applications. Can you give me any advice? They probably are. The first thing I make sure is that you're definitely 100% like meeting the requirements for ungating. So you are giving them an invoice. The billing address or invoice address on that invoice is the same as the one on your seller account. That you're meeting number of requirements, the quantity requirement. What else? That depending, I don't know how old your account is as well. Like if you're quite a young account or new account, and you're trying to ungate something like Paco Rabanne or something, you've probably got no chance. There are certain brands that. So what brand are you trying to ungate, for example, and how old is your account? I mean, during Q4, ungating was nearly impossible for any kind of health and beauty product. I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but it was really difficult. But yeah. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, let me know about that. So Jordan's saying, what if I use the same SKU and want to tie the COGS for return? Oh, okay. Oh, for returns. Okay, track COG for returns when the same product is shipped with different costs. Sorry, I misinterpreted the question there. So what if I use the same SKU, tie the COGS for returns? What would be the best method? I will not be doing the custom SKU I will be doing. So returns. That's a tricky one, to be honest with you. Yeah, because you don't know what it is. You don't know which one it was. I'd just probably take the more expensive one, I guess, and say it was that one. I mean, you can kind of pick and choose, I suppose, especially if you're going to write it off. You can just basically say, look, this is the more expensive one. HMRC would never know, I suppose, or you could take an average of all the costs, But yeah, that does get tricky. I can see the problem there. Yeah, I guess. So, yeah. I would take the highest or the average, never the lowest. I think that's what you're asking, right? I think that's what you're asking. So you send like 100 units and like $4.99, 100 units at $9.99, and then you get one returned. You don't know which one it belonged to, basically. Just assume it's the more expensive one. That's what I do, basically, I think. And I think that'd be fine. So Terry R just saying, I'm a new seller. I have one listing. Nice. Congratulations getting started. Should I go for ungates? I'm not finding any good deals on ungated ones. So just make sure you are actually clicking the apply to sell button when you're looking to do the ungates. When you're new, it is difficult. The first 3 months on Amazon, the first 200 sales are tricky. Just try and get some sales under your belt. Try and sell anything and anything you can that you're ungated on. But before, if you see you need to apply to sell for a brand like, say, Sonic or whatever it is, make sure you actually click that apply to sell button, because sometimes it will auto ungate. There's also a glitch right now going on with auto ungate brands where you click apply to sell and then it takes you to the page and then it says you need to apply. You're stuck in an infinite loop. But I think if you do that, then after 24 hours it does work. It's just a glitch that's come in today, or past 2 days, a few days anyway. But yeah, so yeah, it's just keep trying, keep sourcing. If you're gated on the stuff, there's nothing. You can try and ungate. By the way, don't be afraid to ungate as well. So don't be afraid to try ungates. Gerard's saying, cat 6 months old, 20k in sales. Yeah, so you got a decent account, well, firstly, Course X, you're never going to get ungated. You should never sell that brand. I think that brand's a private label anyway. So I think I know anyone who's been able to ungate Course X recently. I think they're doing you a favor there by not letting you ungate that brand. I think I've seen before people were saying about the exact same problem. They could not get it for the life of them get Course X ungated. I'm 99% sure Course X. I mean, let's just have a look. I think it's one of those weird. Let me have a look. Actually, share the screen. Let me just. Oh God, what have I done? Oh, it should be okay. Let's have a look here. Let's go on to Amazon. I'll just share my screen in a second. Cool. Let me just share my screen. Make sure I'm on mute. Cool. Right. So Course X, for example. By the way, one, like, I wouldn't call it a red flag for private label, but a yellow flag is that if you see that these listings are sponsored, or especially if you see lots of them. So you can see a lot of these Course X ones are sponsored. So that one, like, is a bit of a yellow flag for IP. Then if we go onto it, you can see another one. A big one is, if Course X are selling the brand, do not sell their listing. Do not sell this one. This is one of the biggest red flags you can get, basically, for... Let me zoom in for you guys. Scroll down so you can see my face being in the way. If the brand is on the listing, do not sell it. Do not sell it. That is one of the biggest red flags you can get for IP complaints. Now, I think with Course X is one of these ones where you do actually get other FBA sellers, but it's really risky. So I wouldn't do it. I can't remember if they actually do issue IPs. I can't remember. Let's have a look. Zoom out slightly. None on this one. But the other thing is looking for those sudden sharp drops in seller counts as well. So is the other thing when you're looking at whether something's IP or not, is looking for those sudden sharp drops in... Let's go Molten Brown, show you one of these ones. I think it was one of these ones. There's like a sudden sharp drop. Just show you an example of what you need to look out for. Yeah, this one here. So what you're looking out for is one of these like sudden drops where everyone's been kicked off at the same time. That's another big red flag for that something's IP. Although this one actually was a parallel import, but same thing basically. But yeah, so yeah, with Course X, you should be glad they're not letting you, because I think you'll get IP'd and you can get your account banned. So yeah, just get that sold on eBay and move on basically with Course X. I'm pretty sure as well, actually, if I just go back yeah, let me just go back to Talking Head quickly 1 second. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure if you look here, you can see this is OA Hero, by the way. This is why I created OA Hero, because people buy the wrong brands, and we got the big warning here, IP warning, brand on the listing, IP warning. So yeah, maybe I could have made that, maybe they made that a little bit easier to read, actually. Maybe make a slight adjustment to that. But anyway, yeah, so that's why I created OA Hero. It warns you about this stuff. Anyway, yeah, with Course X, unfortunately, probably just eBay that one and move on, basically. But yeah, so yep, no problem, Jordan. Happy to help there. That's a good question. That's a good question, actually. General sourcing advice for a new starter: go where the sales are. So whether you're doing newsletter sourcing, whether you're using Hot UK deal sourcing, whether you're doing I don't know what other kind of sourcing you can do for sales. well, I'm drawing a blank now. But basically, just like go to where the sales are. Basically, the big two really are like using Hotkey deals to find sales. Then there are a few other ones you can do actually, but I'm not going to say them because they're in the mentoring program. But and by the way, I do mentoring. By the way, if anyone's interested. But yeah, link below. But yeah, I'd say just go where the sales are. So Hotkey Deals is a really killer website for finding deals. Newsletters as well. So, just sign up to a bunch of newsletters for different websites and then check those newsletters every day looking for sales. But essentially, you just go where the sales are. Everything we buy on OA is on sale. So if you don't go to the sales, you won't be able to find the deals, basically. That's the best advice I can give you. So should I go for engaging? Check. What are you saying? Teriyaki, check OA. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Go for ungates. I'm not finding any good deals on ungated ones. Not sure what you mean by that. But yeah. But you can do ungating with online arbitrage as long as you're buying from a retailer that's going to give you an invoice. So again, that's information that's available on OA Hero. 2 for 1 there. It basically solves 2 problems that you have as a beginner on Amazon. So like what brands can you not sell basically, and then what sites. Actually, yeah, someone asked me today actually on my Discord server. They were asking, they found a really good deal on the website. I'm not going to say what website it was. They were saying, well, they want to buy 18 units, and they said, oh, can I order 18? Now, I'll be honest, I'd never heard of this website before. But I always go with the philosophy of, if there's a good deal there and it's really good, just buy the 18. Just buy the amount you want to get. It's better to do that, I think, and get the cancellation than just get like 1 or 2 units and then never know, basically. Because you might get all 18 units for one, which would be highly profitable. If you don't, you might find out more about the website as well. Do they care about order limits? That's an important thing to learn as well. Again, a lot of information is on OA Hero for that. But the stuff that's come from my knowledge and other people's knowledge over the years, like what websites care about order limits. But yeah, then you'll be like, well, if they do care and they cancel, they might email you saying, look, we do 10 units max, or they might say 5 units, or you can ask them after you get cancelled. They might say, you know what, our limit's 3 units, in which case you can just go, well, I'm not going to bother ordering from that website anymore. It's not worth my time. So you actually learn a lot more, I think, from ordering more than you do just like trying to stay under the radar. Because honestly, like staying under the radar, it's fine to begin with, I suppose, but realistically, long term, what's the point, basically? But yeah, so anyway, people might disagree with that philosophy, I don't know, but yeah, that's how I think about it, basically. I used to think the other way around. I used to think, well, I'd rather just get the 5 units or whatever and be happy, but now I'm definitely on the, especially when I tend to be like, I'm either going to order like 5 or like 100. I'd rather just take the chance on the 100, because when it pays off big. But yeah, and you learn a lot as well. And you also learn actually some websites just don't care. They're like, I know quite a few websites now, they just literally do not care about. I'm not saying they literally just don't care. You can literally order like 100 grand's worth, they do not care. I'm not saying I've spent 100 grand, but I've done 40,000 on one website before. How much did I spend on Entertainer? It was a lot. Let me have a look. I went crazy on Entertainer. So I've done John Lewis. That's a great website. Entertainer's a good website as well. So yeah, I did £1,900 on one order, £1,955 another order, £4,358 essentially on another order, £14,585 on another order. This is all within about 2-3 days of each other. £2,406 another order, £855, £2,685 another order. And hang on, not looping round, are we? Don't think so. No, 15th of Jan. Weird. Okay, strange. Okay, yeah, and then I'm going back to ones I did last year. Yeah, I did 4,490. Anyway, you get the idea. Anyway, basically, like not insignificant amounts, basically. When it comes to ordering, but otherwise, if you didn't know that, though, you'd be sat there thinking, oh, can I order 3 units? Whereas I'm sat there, the most I've ordered from there is 750 units or something in one order. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah. In terms of sourcing, just keep searching, keep finding sales, analyze loads of products. That's the best way to learn. Is just get access. Review a lot of deals, basically. and make mistakes, I guess, as well. Buy stuff, learn from your mistakes. But yeah, the more deals you can review, the better it is, basically. So, but yeah. Any other questions, let me know. I was going to say, in the mentoring that I do, we definitely aim, and I mentioned this before, more for, not doing what I do, because I'm further in the journey than most people on Amazon. What I do is I go deep on products. I go wide and deep, whereas actually what we recommend for most people is shallow and wide, basically. So, 5-10 units, whatever you're going to buy, lots of different products. I'd rather you, essentially what it comes down to, rather you bought, let's say, 50 products and you only went for 5 units of each, basically, than spend all your money on one product, let's say from a wholesaler or something like that. Because firstly, it's dangerous to put your eggs in one basket or your money into one basket, but also, what are you actually learning from that deal? Okay, if it's a really profitable deal, fine, I guess. But honestly, it probably won't be. And I've seen it so many times now. People end up buying like 100, 500,000 units on a wholesaler. That's just one ASIN or maybe 2 ASINs. And you've not learned anything from that. You've literally just analyzed like 2 products. You're just selling 2 things on Amazon. You're probably not going to sell as fast as you think. All your inventory is tied up on a brand. And then you're basically stuffed. Whereas if you spread your risk, you buy lots of different products, you analyze lots of stuff, you learn faster, and overall it's just better, basically. Because in the long run, while we are doing this to make money, the money comes kind of later. First year's for learning, second year's for earning. I won't pretend I came up with that phrase. I can't remember where I got it from now. So, Videra, can you recommend a reliable user and supplier whose invoice is accepted by Amazon for ungating? So, Notino look fantastic. Who else? Technically Amazon, but you'd have to buy 100 units probably, 50 to 500 units. I don't know. What's another? Google Eucerin. I mean, probably loads of places, basically. Potentially Harrison's Direct is another like wholesaler that might do it. Superdrug, they're a bit iffy with invoices though, so maybe not Superdrug actually. Let's have a look. I mean, Eucerin have got their own website, maybe not from them. Yeah, so Look Fantastic's probably a good one to go for. Notino. What other retailers are that sell? Essential maybe. I think Sephora sell as well. I don't know if they do invoices though, to be fair. But anyway, stick with Look Fantastic. Stick with Notino, I'd say, for the ungating. Yeah, Look Fantastic probably the better one, I'd say. But yeah, there you go. For ungating. For profitable item. Is Eucerin still sellable? Hang on. Why do I feel like that's now been hard gated? Let me just check on my Amazon. I'm not saying I've got the be all and end all Amazon account, but I swear it's now hard gated. No? Okay, never mind. No. I'm making things up. No, it's all good. Yeah, I can sell Eucerin. Okay, cool. I don't know why I thought that was hard gated now, but no, it's all good. So Elliot saying, you got any advice on scaling with slow returns because of bricking? Yeah, do better product research, basically, is what I'd say. Look into, if you're finding every single product you're buying is bricking, I'd start looking at where you're buying from, basically. So if you're always buying from Notino, for example, and you always find things Tank or M&M Direct, or what are some tanky websites? I'm trying to think. Stylevana used to be one of them. Don't source them there, by the way. Oh god, what are some tanky websites? There's a few anyway, where it's just like everyone kind of sources them, and they're just like super easy to find deals. I'd say then start sourcing other places, start sourcing different categories, and also make sure you're doing the research on these products and just making sure that they have fast enough sales to have a bit of resiliency to them, but also looking at the history to see, have these listings been jumped on before? Because a lot of times you'll find products, if you look at the year or longer, you'll see they go up and down there all over. It's like a roller coaster, constantly up and down, where everyone finds the deal, then everyone jumps on. There's 100 sellers on, then slowly it'll drift down. The price, once they get down to like 10 sellers, the price will recover. And they just go through these cycles over and over and over. And that can be good opportunities, to be fair, but you have to buy at the right time. Otherwise, you end up holding the stock for 2-3 months. So which is, there's nothing wrong with that, to be fair, but if you're trying to grow and grow quickly. The other thing, again, is going what I said before, is only go for 5 units. Just say, look, I'm going to stick to 5 units, maybe 10 max. I'm just going to go super wide on products. I'm not going to go too deep on any products. And then that way, some things will tank, some things won't. But you always have things churning going in, basically. Probably best advice I can give you on that one, basically. But I think it generally always comes down to pretty much where you end up sourcing from, pretty much. I've had it in the past where I've bought from, what is that website called? What I can't even think what brand it was now. Oh, my memory's so bad these days. I was buying this cosmetic item from, is it B&M maybe? I think it is B&M. And it's just literally, it's one of the most, it's so heavily sourced, that website. I think it's B&M. It might be another website. I can't remember now. And it's just like ridiculously heavily sourced. And let me look through my products actually and see. And I just kind of was like, well, I just gave up on it. I was like, well, I'm just not going to order from there again. Like M&M Direct, I've always had bad experience there as well. I always find that stuff absolutely tanks, like really badly. I know some people do okay on there, but I've just never had any luck on M&M Direct. So just trying to find these products now, if they've even still got them in stock. Because I probably just got rid of them. What brand was it? Just looking through my listings now. I remember seeing them before Christmas and thinking, oh, I've still got those in stock. Oh my God. Having to go quite far down in my inventory to find these. Oh dear. God, I can't find them, to be honest with you. But yeah, there's just some websites where it's just like, I'm just not going to order from there. Like another one that I've noticed is really bricky as well. It's a tool website called Ryobi, because every now and then those deals will pop up, like Ryobi.com, and I just found that it's just everyone orders from there, and it just tanks so badly. I just don't like that website at all. Again, I know some people that do okay on that one, but yeah, I can't find this one now. It's annoying me now. But anyway, so it might have been Eucerin actually. It might have been yeah, that's weird. It might actually be Eucerin. Might not be. I can't remember. I have to look through. I've got a bunch of old listings here I need to sort out. But yeah, just don't order. Just learn from mistakes, basically. If you find a website looks really good, then, but everyone else orders from there and everything tanks, then just don't order from them again, basically. And move on to another website and find another deal from somewhere else. There's always deals out there. I'm just going through thousands of products here trying to find this listing of these things. Maybe I've deleted them already. I don't know. But yeah. But any other questions, let me know while I look through. Wow, I'm going so far back now, it's crazy. I'm like looking at Nike sneakers and stuff now. That was from a long time ago. I must have deleted these things. I think it was I think it is. No, I found it. I found it. It's Dermalex. And I can't remember where we bought it from. I think it was like Home Bargains. That was it. Oh my God, that website is so bricky. Oh my God. Literally. It is so bricky. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So I just won't order from there again, basically. Yeah, Dermalex. Oh God, that stuff was so. I think I literally sold it all for a loss. I just wanted rid of the damn things. Yeah, so bad. Helen's saying, have 10 units on an invoice, same brand, but 3 different things that are ungated on the brand. Would you apply on all 3 products to get ungated or stick to one product? 10 units on the invoice, same brand, but 3 different things that get ungated on the brand. You ungate the brand, not the products, Helen. So if you ungate one, you'll ungate it all. So just apply for one. Doesn't matter. You can pick something totally not on the invoice either. As long as it's for that brand, you're okay. So yeah, you don't ungate items within a brand. You ungate the brand, and then as long as I'm understanding that correctly, what you've written. But yeah, so if let's say for example you bought 4 Jean-Paul Gaultier's, something for him, then you bought 6 for her. That's 10. You can then ungate some another random one. If you wanted. Doesn't have to be you don't have to have on the invoice the thing you're specifically applying for. Like for example, let me give you an example here actually, because someone posted this earlier. Actually, let me get this up. I'm gonna get both these up. 1 second though. Let me just do it this way. Lego spare bricks, spare parts. Okay, cool. Got that one, and then this one here, basically. So let's say, for example, you want to ungate Lego. So someone today posted in my group. I asked, just like, oh, where do you ungate your Lego from? Because it's like, oh, I got ungated Lego finally. I was like, oh, did you use Lego? He's like, oh no, I used Pound Fun, these Lego napkins. I mean, I don't think he's selling napkins. He's just bought these for £1 each and just got 10 of them for a tenner, and problem solved, easy. The other thing you can do is go to Lego and just buy spare parts. Just find the cheap ones, sort low to high. Oftentimes the low ones are out of stock, to be fair, but just get these ones here that are 1p each, whatever, maybe a different colour. Okay, 4p, just get 10 of these. You go, paid 40p. And then you pay probably $2.95 postage, and then you can ungate Lego, in theory, But I know people have done this. I tend to say, instead of doing that, because you're basically going to throw those in the bin, I tend to say when you're going to ungate Lego, do the key rings. For $4.99, say 50 quid for an ungate. You can sell them on Amazon as well. Oftentimes you can break even or sell them for a profit. And yeah, but yeah, you can get like two Batmans, 2 minis. As long as it adds up to 10. So you can go. Let's say you bought 10 Batmans, for example. All right. You could then go to the Eeyore one on Amazon and ungate that with that invoice because it's all Lego. So anyway, as long as I've understood what you said correctly there. So but yeah. Anyway. Let's have a look. What categories go for? Any category except health and beauty. Basically, is what I'd say. No problem, Elliot. Happy to help. The one we're talking about, Happy Lands. Yes. I don't remember it, but yeah. You should be fine to ungate. As I said, as long as it's 10 units on there, you can ungate any of the Happy Land brands. Unless there's like multiple different, like, as long as you're not confusing like Weller Professional or Bosch Professional, or those different ones, then you might struggle, yeah. But yeah, I think if I remember correctly, there was 2 different brands within Happy Land, wasn't there? I think. I just do one, and if that doesn't ungate the other one because it's like Happy Land Professional or whatever it is, then try the other one. But I just do one at a time basically. But you can try the same invoice though. What's the max order for Debenhams? I ordered 10 Lego and they got cancelled. Probably a stock level, to be fair. Let me have a look at OA Hero. Debenhams is actually pretty good, but I'm not sure how much. I've not ordered from them in a while, actually, but it actually is a really good website. Let's have a look what OA Hero says. I don't think they've got too much information on here for this one. To be fair, I actually do say it says do not care about order limits. Feel free to loop orders. So I think I have ordered there a lot in their past. It's been a while, though. It would have been a stock reason, but yeah, did you know why they cancelled? That's the main thing. It could just be stock, and it probably is stock. I'll have a look at my Debenhams in a second and see what I've ordered in the past. For those who you're wondering, I am drinking just pure Smirnoff. I've taken up drinking now, so yeah. I've got a DM. No problem, Elliot. Elliot saying, can I pay for some coaching? I do a mentoring program, so book a call with me in the link in the description. If you want to book a call with me, a discovery call with mentoring, we can see if it's the right fit for you, walk you through that as well. So yeah, Elliot, no problem whatsoever. I'm not going to lie, it's expensive. If you want to know how much, watch the last stream, because we actually talked about it towards the end. I don't normally reveal that publicly. But yeah, it's not cheap, let's put it like that, but it is the best program out there. So yeah. I was actually going to look at my Debenhams, actually. I just realised, actually, like you just said that, like it just made me realise that Debenhams used to be a really good website for stuff, and I've not ordered from there in ages. I've just realised I've been missing out on buying from there. Yeah, so that's just made me realise I've not ordered from there in ages. Yeah, it's been a long time, actually. Apparently, it's been a long old time. Anyway, interesting stuff. Just made me realise because that is a good website, to be fair. Yeah. Oops. But it just shows you there's so many websites and places to order from. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming on. So we've got about 25 minutes left. So any more questions, feel free to throw them out there. And by the way, Elliot, take advantage now. This is like a free coaching session. So throw your questions out, basically. There are no stupid questions. So any questions anyone's got, just throw them out there. But yeah, we've all got to start from somewhere. We've all got to learn. There's a lot to learn with Amazon as well. There really is. So actually, one of my new mentees, A couple that have started, fresh to Amazon. So in the first call I did with them, we were literally covering like super basic stuff, like just going through Amazon Seller Central, just even talking about things about IP. What is an IP claim, how to avoid them. What else do we cover? Like real basic stuff, basically. But yeah, before we get into the juicy sort of sourcing, but you've got to cover that stuff because not everyone knows it, basically. So and it might seem really obvious, but yeah, I do not teach bundles. No, I don't think bundles have a long lifespan. I teach online arbitrage. It's super niche, super narrow. We don't teach private label. We could if we wanted, but we don't. We don't teach wholesale. We don't teach brand direct. We teach online arbitrage because it's the best model, in my opinion, for growth. Do you use discount codes on all your purchases? Not all of them, but I do on I'd say a fair chunk. If there's a discount code available, that does always help. So let's say, for example, I'm doing newsletter sourcing and I found there's a code. When I do that kind of sourcing, sometimes it's just like, hey, there's a sale going on, or sometimes it's like, hey, there's a code, 10% off or whatever it is on a certain brand or site wide. Then I'll use that code. Anything I can do to make extra money and get extra money off those deals, basically. But not always though. Not always. Yeah, sometimes. But if you can get a code no one else has got, then that might help as well. So yeah, there's a few little tricks I do as well. Yeah, gift cards is one, although it makes it messy from accounting point of view. What else do I do? I mean, not much of a trick, but top cashback sometimes helps. I will never use top cashback to make a deal. But it's always nice to get, a bit of cash back sometimes. Like I had just paid out. Like my top cash back's ridiculous. Like what is it at the moment? Let's have a look. I just paid out a nice amount of money on Sainsbury's vouchers. I just don't pay for food anymore. Yeah, like I thought it was more than that. I thought, okay, it's strange. I swear top cash back was more than that, but it's 9,898. I think if you include Quidco, it's well over. How much? It must be 13,000 probably. It's over a long period, though, to be fair. But it's just nice to get that kind of stuff, that extra bit. But I'll never buy a deal because of the cashback, because you're not always guaranteed to get it. So that's a dangerous game. I know people have done that in the past. And that's definitely a strategy you can do, by the way. I've seen people do that in the past, where the cashback is like 40, 50, 60%, and then they just buy stuff that's break even, and then just literally just make the money on the cashback. But these days, I think that's a little bit of a danger. I mean, if you know for sure it's going to pay out, then I guess it's okay. But yeah, so do you have any recommendations on scaling? I've been doing Amazon FBM using Discord, and it's working, but taking a long time to build. I'm not spending much time sourcing. I'm not sure where to start. Well, the first thing you got to do is spend more time sourcing. So if FBM is taking too much time, then switch to FBA, and then the time that you save, you can do sourcing. But the only thing that's going to help you grow is buying more and sourcing more, basically. And yeah, just sourcing is all. It's all comes down to buying. And let me get this up actually here. Because one of the things that we're going to talk about tomorrow in a group call in my mentoring actually is how to reverse engineer your profits. And for some reason I can't find it. Here we go. Cool. Let me just rezoom this a little bit here. So Amazon is this simple. If you want to break it down. And by the way, this is all available in my starter guide thing, which I don't think there was a link below for it, but anyway, let me just put this here. Right. Make it a little bit bigger for you guys, actually. So we can actually get rid of the stuff at the bottom. Cool. So this profit and spending table, basically. Right. If you want to make £5,000 a month, okay, what do you need to do? You need to, if you're sourcing deals at 30% ROI, you need to spend £16,667 a month, basically, to make £5,000. If you're sourcing at 40% ROI, then you need to spend £12,500, basically. So if you want to make £20,000 a month and you're sourcing at 50% ROI, which would be extremely impressive. These are definitely outlier numbers. I wouldn't say that's very common, but not impossible. You spend £40,000 a month basically. So this lets you reverse engineer your profits, because the only thing you can really control in your Amazon business is, for the most part, what you're buying and where you're buying from, pretty much. So so all you can really focus on is sourcing. So if you can source and buy and spend, and you're buying good products within, a certain ROI range. Now, I understand, obviously, you buy things at 30% ROI. By the time they get into Amazon, sometimes they tank down, but then sometimes things do better as well. But let's say an average of 30%, then you're going to make that much money, basically. It's pretty simple as that. Hey, Adrian, how's it going? Thanks for coming on. I think you've just finished the mentoring call, right? But yeah, but no, hey, I do not teach bundles. I don't believe in bundles. I'm not saying you can't do bundles, but I just think they're a cop-out, personally. They can be okay, but if you want to grow and scale quickly, I think online arbitrage is the best way. But yeah, in terms of scaling, just buy more, basically, and make sure you churn as well. You've got to get things in, get it sold, get the money back. If after a month or 2 months your things have not sold, reduce the price down, get that money, just take the L, not take the L on it, but like just get it sold, get that money back as well, basically, and just get it reinvested in for new products. Is the best advice I can give you when it comes to scaling. How the gift cards work: you buy them for a discount, so you buy like £100 gift card for say £90, and then you can, you're getting a 10% discount, for example, if you're buying something for £100, basically. But there's a little bit of a it's not a naughty trick, no, it's a fine trick, but it makes it a right pain from an accounting point of view. I'm not going to lie, but it is a little trick you can do. It's not, I don't do it very often, but occasionally I will do it. But yeah, so how was it, Adrian? Hopefully it was good. But yeah, so Adrian, by the way, is one of my mentees. So those you out there. But yeah, so yeah, scaling wise, and obviously if time is the issue, then obviously you can get a VA. Make sure you get a good VA. VAs, they can be a pain in the butt at times. They honestly can be. They can be good and they can be a pain. Helen, I said there's no stupid questions, although I've not read this question yet, so I'm not sure. No, there are no stupid questions. So, can I have an invoice to get the brand ungated with a product Amazon doesn't sell? Yes. It doesn't matter what product it is, as long as the items are from that brand. So, for example, when I ungated Lego, when I ungated Nintendo, I just bought some packs of stickers from I think it was Pound Fun or something, one of those websites, in the past. I'm pretty sure Amazon didn't sell that item. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be on Amazon. It can be anything of that brand. Like you could buy, let's say for example, Apple made paper clips, for example, and that listing's not on Amazon. You could just buy 10 paper clips, ungate the Apple brand, and then sell iPhones. Now you can't sell Apple, but it's an example basically. So yeah, do you have any recommendations on where to source? I'd say go back and listen to all the sites I've said before. There's some really good ones there, but there's loads of different places to source from. As I've said before, John Lewis is one of my favorite ones. I just realized that I have not ordered from Debenhams in a long old time, actually. And that used to be a really good website and probably still is. Argos is big as well. I mean, there's nothing rocket sciencey here. Like Asda George is amazing as well. I think people have this like misconception you need to go to these like weird and wonderful like websites on the dark corners of the internet, and just find these deals. But no, you just order from like normal websites. But yeah, so Helen, you can do that. I'm pretty sure I've got a video on gating where I made this really nice graphics and stuff and showing how to do it basically. But maybe I didn't mention that bit, I suppose. But yeah, you can mix and match. I think I use let me get it up actually and screenshot it. It'd be interesting to see actually Amazon FBA ungating, whether my video comes up actually. If I search FBA ungating, no, it's miles down. It is there. No, it's not. Oh my god, that's so bad. Where is my video? That's really bad. Amazon FBA ungating. I have to work on my SEO on YouTube. Stannis is up there actually. Oh, that's so bad. I'm like miles down. I can't even find myself. I'm gonna have to do a new video on ungating then, I guess. Because it'll be like, how do you ungate? It's like you can't. Anyway, on that I did some nice graphics anyway, so I'm kind of annoyed that actually I'm not showing up there. So anyway, Is what it is. That's what you get for not doing videos in a while. But yeah. Built to Graph had a good chat with AD. Nice. Already having a plan. Seller Central. Yeah, Seller Central is actually way more to it than you realise. There's so many things in there that you don't even know about. But you've now got that thing that we give you, which shows you all the places to go. Fasalax asking, what credit cards do you suggest for business, and should it be against a business or personal? So it depends if you're a limited company or whether you're a sole trader. So if you're a sole trader, then technically the card that you use will be under your own name, because that's all sole trading is essentially, is under your own name. For that, American Express Gold card is pretty much the one everyone goes for. If you're a limited company, then you should definitely have everything under the limited company. The bank account, the credit card should all be on the limited company. A limited company is like a separate entity from you, a separate legal entity. You should not mix and match your finances. And when it comes to credit cards, American Express, again, Gold for business. I use Platinum myself, but it's only worth it if you spend more than $10,000 a month, I think, on product. I can't remember what it is now. Is it 10 or 20,000 a month on products? You get extra stuff, and if you do flights as well, flight rewards, and then Capital on Tap is really good as well. So I'll throw actually out there for you guys, because I think this is one of the better ones out there. I use this for Amazon EU. I use it for other things as well. But Capital on Tap as well is a really good one. But this one's for limited companies only. So I'll throw it out there for you guys. There's the link for that. You get £75 as well when you make your first transaction. So I get 75, you get 75. Works out for everyone basically. So you can then definitely get Capital on Tap then basically. How old bank account should be applying? So Capital on Tap are a little bit stricter. You probably have to be in business for probably a minimum of 3 or 6 months, but it might be worth applying anyway. American Express do take you pretty much from day one. I think I know people are pretty much from day one they've got an American Express. So I actually don't have a link for American Express, but Built to Graph, do you want to throw one out there for your... I think I pretty much hit the limit on my Amex referral. So, but yeah, maybe Built to Graph will throw it out there for you. A referral for Amex, the Amex Gold. So, but yeah, I use two basically, Amex and Capital on Tap. Now, I want to caveat this with is, it's great to use a credit card, okay, but make sure you can pay it off every month. Don't end up paying the minimum. Don't not pay it. You need to be paying it off. It is so not worth. I think Capital on Tap pays you 1% cash back. American Express, depending on how you use the points, is somewhere between like 0.5% to 2 or 3%. All that is completely wiped out if you end up spending 30% of interest. So, but yeah, so Adrian's saying he got Capital after 3 months, but only a 4K limit. That's cool. You can just start it off, and then they'll give you some more over time, basically. The good thing as well is, by the way, I know it sucks, but like you can just pay off. That's what I do whenever I hit my limits. I just like pay it off. And then just spend again, basically. But I use them only for, one, to help cash flow a little bit, but two, mainly for the points. I suppose you also get the consumer protection as well through that as well, which is nice. So, we'll let Built to Graph throw one out there. He's probably scrambling now to try and find it. If he doesn't get it out there soon, then yeah, I'm pretty sure I've hit my limits on my MXs. But yeah, if you want to do Capital on Tap, link is there. I appreciate it. We both get 75 quid. It works out. So, but yeah, they're really good. So good reason Capital on Tap's so good is it's just 1% flat cash back, which is really nice. Which is technically better than Amex, because Amex is good only if you're going to use it for like rewards, like flights and stuff. Whereas Capital on Tap, you just get 1% back. You can pay off your balance. You can get vouchers like Amazon and stuff like that. The other thing as well is when you're using Amazon EU, which again is another thing we teach in the mentoring program, it's got the best exchange rates on there as well, where Amex exchange rates are terrible. Oh, I don't see it. I don't see your link. Maybe it didn't post. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Send it to me on Discord, Wes, and then send it to me on Discord and I'll post it, because I'll be allowed to post it on my own thing. So yeah, if you want, send it on Discord quickly. Get you a sign up. Just cut me in for half the voice, right? No, I don't think it's going to post, to be honest with you. Can anyone see Built to Craft's link there? Probably not. I can't see it. It's probably under moderation. You have to send it to me on Discord. But yeah. Anyway. Cool. You need to get a short link, mate. Okay, cool. There we go. So this is the Amex link for anyone who wants that. So there we go. Yeah, no link showing. Yeah, so there we go. If you want to get Amex, there's a link for you, basically. Just make sure you cut me in. That's all good. But yeah, so those are the two cards that I use. Are there any, actually, out of interest, are there any other cards that people use? Because they're the only two that I really know about. I'm trying to think what other ones are there that are worth using. Yeah, I actually don't. What other cards are there, actually? I'm sure there's loads. I've not even thought about it, to be honest with you. Yeah. And talking about flights, by the way, I managed to book a flight today, which is also such a good deal. It basically, as far as I'm concerned, this flight was free. I've got to give a shout out to... let me just disable this quickly. At Concierge, because they helped me find this flight. So that's Josh who runs that. But basically, it was a flight from Dubai to UK. It was £180 and 45,000 points, which is just crazy cheap. And that is it. The only downside is it does have one stop, which I don't normally like doing. But it was so cheap, I was like, sure. And it's going to Doha, which has got, basically it's first class and then Q suite, basically, for 45,000 points and £180. It's just crazy cheap. I get free Starlink internet as well on that as well, so which is crazy. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So that's one of the perks of doing Amex points, basically. And I've got like over 1 million Amex points, so it just shows you like 45,000 points for like I think Q Suite essentially is business class, but I think it's like from what I've heard, it's as good as first in some places anyway. But yeah, so I was like, wow, that's so good. So it just shows you I could buy like 20 of those flights for like 3,600 quid and just under 1 million points, basically. It's just crazy. But yeah, Barclays, okay, interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm sure there are loads of different ones out there actually, but yeah, Barclays, okay. The main thing for me is like using it is just the rewards. I know some people use it for the finance side of things and making money, and not well, stretching their money, but also like when they haven't got the money, if that makes sense. But yeah, you definitely want to be careful with it though. Make sure you're doing it correctly. You don't want to take any big risk. So Reich saying, would I like to know whether we can buy Korean jewelry from an Indian import and sell on Amazon platform? I mean, you can do. As long as this is more private label at this point, basically. So you'd have to do it under your own private label brand, basically. You're not importing the products ourselves. We're purchasing them from an importer within India. Is allowed to sell jewelry by mentioning the country of origin as Korea on these platforms without requiring additional documentation, licensing certificate. This is actually just way beyond my knowledge. Built to Graph might be able to help you more here. Maybe there'll be a travel vlog, to be fair. I've got too many vlogs. I'm being so lazy on the vlogs. I've got a bunch I just need to release. I just feel like they're out of date now, so I'm like, what's the point? But yeah, maybe I'll release them anyway. Rex is getting way beyond my knowledge on Amazon selling, unfortunately. So I don't see why you can't do it, because you could just do it under your own private label brand. But I tend to sell branded items like Apple and Nike and whatever. Like, you can't sell Apple, but just an example. So yeah. But I don't see why you couldn't do it under your own brand. You get a trademark, create your own brand, import the stuff, because people do that from China and places that doesn't. It could be India, China, Pakistan, wherever, basically, and then you can sell it under your own brand, no problem. And put the country of origin as the country manufacturer, I think. My account is showing at risk for not meeting FBM. Oh, okay, yeah, I think you maybe mentioned this in the group. My mistake, I used default template, which 1 to 2 delivery. I've now changed to 3 to 5 days. Should I ignore the message? It's not ideal, to be fair. I again don't have too much experience with FBM. If you don't know what you're doing with FBM, don't do it, basically, because you can risk your account could end up getting banned. Because you're meant to have like a 1% defect rate, whereas your defect rate can be like 100%. I mean, that's a real tricky one, to be honest with you. On one hand, I'm just saying you might be okay. It's a real tricky one. Do you know what? I'd probably open a support case with Amazon and say, look, I made a mistake here. Is my account at risk? I don't know. Like, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to answer on that one. I just don't know. Because I've heard people have been banned from having terrible FBM delivery. Yeah, the other thing you can do is you can just literally sell like 100 more items and make sure you get those all correct, and then then your rate will go down to 1%. But seems a bit like convoluted, I suppose. So Watson Gems asking, why do some products show Intello ramp as unknown for BSR and estimated sales? They might not have a BSR and they might not have sales. I don't know. Do you have an ASIN we can have a look at? Throw one out there and have a look at it and see. But yeah, Rick, I just not. I'll be honest, my knowledge with Amazon is very detailed in a very specific niche. I don't do private label, so I don't really deal with that kind of stuff myself. But of course, the import from India will have to be sent into Amazon. You'll need to make sure you have all documents, customs. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah, not going to do FBM. Yeah, fair enough. So I don't know. I'd probably open a case with them and say, look, I'm just not going to do FBM anymore. I made a mistake with this one. Is my account going to be okay? What can I do, basically? That's probably what I do, basically. If you get a reimbursement reversal, is there a way to check the reasoning? Yes, go to your reimbursement report, which I can give you a link if you want. Here we go. Go to that link there, and it's got run the report and see what it says, basically. Most of the time, they just found it, basically. Or it was a return that didn't get returned, then did get returned. But yeah, that's the reason. That'll be in there, basically. It should be. Do invoices from most retailers work? Yes. As long as it's a proper invoice from a decent retailer, then yes. But yeah, some good questions coming in, guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Wow, it's literally 4 to 9. I didn't realise. Wow. So, yeah. Crazy. I'll carry on for longer if there's more questions to come in. Otherwise, I'll wrap it up, basically. But yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, I do a mentoring program. If you're interested, link below. Book in a call with me. We'll have a discussion about it, run through the program, go through all that, basically. Obviously, tell you how much it costs. And then, see if it's right for you, basically. But yeah, so it is literally the best program. It's not the best program out there. It is literally light years ahead of any other mentoring program out there. I can guarantee that. 100%. So I'm not saying there aren't good programs out there. There definitely are. But yeah, ours is literally light years ahead. So do you recommend selling on US marketplace from UK? I don't see why you can't do that. Again, that's now getting out of my specialty. I've never done it before, but you definitely can do that if you want to. I would say get good at doing UK first, and then once you've done that, you can definitely do USA. Definitely. I don't see why you couldn't do it. It's where it gets tricky. Like, do you need a US LLC? Probably not. You can probably run it from the UK, but then you need a prep center. You're going to need all the stuff in place in America. It's definitely more logistically challenging, but it definitely can be done. And USA can be highly profitable. But you're going to have to get a prep center in a sales tax-free state. Quite tricky to find them, actually, in America, prep centers that are good. And yeah, then you're going to have to, I don't know, from an accounting point of view, you have to do account. Anyway, that gets tricky. You're going to have to do some research on that one, basically. But yes, definitely you can do it, basically. I don't do it myself, though. I don't even really sell into Europe anymore. I did when I was doing my sneakers. I don't do it anymore just because I'm just happy with the UK. I make enough money there, but it all depends on, what you're doing, basically, and what you're selling. So I think Watson James sent over that ASIN quickly, so we'll have a quick look at that one. Let me just close that down. Let's grab this one here. So, I've got no idea why this has logged me out of Amazon, but okay, strange. But basically, the answer to your question is, but we'll look at it anyway, is that it doesn't have a sales rank. It doesn't have any sales. That's why, basically. Let me just maximize this. Talking head. Cool. So Watson Gem was asking, why doesn't this have a sales rank? Basically, because it's not ever sold, basically. So it's just, I think in the past it maybe was selling. It maybe did have a sales rank. I can't even see the sales rank on here. It just doesn't sell, basically. That's what it all comes down to. It has no sales. Yeah, that's it, basically. It just doesn't have any sales. So I wouldn't touch this, basically. It's also, actually, it's a really good, I'm really glad you brought this one up here. never ever buy brand generic items. So you can see here we've got this GB here. Now normally I ignore these alerts from SellerAmp, but for generic brand, it's one I actually look at. Never sell on generic branded items basically, because it's just you can get banned from Amazon. Do not buy basically on generic brands. So that's interesting you found that. Always make sure the brand here matches the brand of the items you're selling. So this is apparently, well, I don't know what brand this is basically, but make sure you've got the correct branded item. But this has no sales rank. It's just not going to sell basically. So yeah, wouldn't touch that one for those multiple reasons. So when you're buying stuff, make sure it actually does sell on Amazon. And also make sure it's not got a generic brand. But I'm glad you brought that one up, actually. That's a good one. So there's so many things you need to learn in Amazon. Sometimes I just you forget these little bits. Is it still working, my screen? Okay, there we go. Cool, my software is struggling a little bit. Is it worth selling DG items? 100%, yes. I sold a crap load of them at Christmas. And when I mean DG, you mean hazmat, which is basically anything that's like flammable or in a compressed canister or is a solvent or anything like that, basically, yeah. But it's still worth doing, basically, yeah. Very, very profitable, can be anyway. But the only downside to doing DG is you need to arrange your own shipping into Amazon, which means you need to get their own insurance and things like that. So for when it comes to shipping stuff, it tends to be more expensive. Doesn't say the reasoning for the reversal. What does it say? Just say reversal and that's it. Trying to think what other ways you can find the reason for the reversal. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. There probably will be another report you can run. But off the top of my head, I'm not sure actually. I don't normally look into these things, to be fair. Yeah, but I mean, if you really want to get to the bottom of it, you could always open a case with Amazon. But there might be another report you can potentially run. Maybe we'll look at the reports quickly. There are so many reports you can run on Amazon, it's crazy. So fulfillment by Amazon probably, and then inside of here. So you got it's a reimbursement, wasn't it? So inventory. You could potentially look at the inventory ledger. That might be one to use actually. And again, the way they describe that is like it's a bank statement of all your inventory. But yeah, so it shows the movements to and from Amazon fulfillment center, all that kind of stuff. Basically, that might be in there potentially. What else could you do in terms of actual? Oh, excuse me. Reports. Yeah, maybe just the FBA inventory report potentially as well. I'm not sure if there's any other ones that might be worth looking into. I'd say look at that inventory ledger one. That might be more interesting. Because that normally is pretty much the really detailed thing that shows every single thing that's happening in there. So that could be worth looking into. But yeah. So any other questions, or should we wrap it up? Let me know basically. So and yeah, so if you want to book a mentoring call, discovery call, link below basically. You also got the access to my link to my Discord community there as well. What else is in there? OA Hero, if that interests you. That's some software that I sell. £150 for lifetime, $99.99 for the year. I keep threatening to get rid of the lifetime. I need to sit down and do that at some point. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I can't remember anyway. I'm sure there's some other links down there as well. Oh, Cogito as well. So you need to get back on sourcing Cogito actually. So there's a big announcement coming out with Cogito actually, which I'll be talking about in the future actually. So quite a nice little announcement coming out. So a nice little incentive for everyone. I'll be talking about that in the future actually. But yeah, so Cogito is a good little platform that I use for, at Christmas I was using it to buy loads of perfumes and aftershaves. Like a ridiculous amount. We're talking like pallets of perfumes. But we'll talk about that in the future though. Maybe I'll do a little reveal in my next kind of live stream, which I think is going to be Thursday, 8 p.m. Although I'm going to Dubai next week, so this week is very busy with stuff. I seem to be pulled everywhere, going out for meals nearly every night. I've had to turn down some actually, but yeah, so I should be on, I think, but we'll see basically. But yeah, any other final questions before we wrap it up? I'll give you a couple more minutes to throw any last questions out there. Otherwise, I'll have to wait till next time I'm on. I will be doing streaming from Dubai, but it'll be quite tough for me because it'll be midnight start. So I might do it a little bit earlier. I might start at 7, maybe even 6 actually, and just do early live streams. But we'll see. But if no one comes on, there's no point. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do some earlier live streams. We'll have to see. But yeah, if there's no further questions, guys, we'll wrap it up there. So you got like 20 seconds to get last question in before I go and chill on the sofa and then go to bed. But if not, I will see you guys. Yeah, Thursday. I'll be on Thursday, 8 p.m. I'll try and stick to the schedule. And then after that, next time I do a live stream, I'll be in Dubai, which would be awesome. So, but yeah, thanks everyone for coming on. Some great questions today. It's been really good. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a few days on Thursday.